You're already dead, he hissed. But she only smiled. Cold. Dangerous. One man groaned on the ground, barely conscious. The other had almost drawn his gun until Naomi moved. A sharp crack, and the weapon clattered to the concrete. Her knee dug into his throat. "Who sent you?" she whispered, her voice like ice shards. The man's eyes widened in terror. You're. What he said next changed everything. But let's not jump ahead. It all started on a quiet Saturday morning. I was in the garage, working on my '68 Mustang, enjoying the peace. Just me, my tools, and an oldies rock playlist in the background. That's when I heard it, a loud knock at the front door. My wife, Naomi, answered. From where I stood, I could barely make out the muffled conversation, until I heard a sentence that froze my blood. "We're with the HOA. We've had some complaints about your property." Naomi's voice came back steady, assertive. "We don't have an HOA." Then came a deeper voice, male, authoritative. "Step outside, ma'am." I dropped my wrench and rushed through the house. Two men stood on our front porch. Tactical gear, black boots, utility belts. Their dark uniforms bore the letters HOA stitched in bold white across the chest. One of them had his hand on the butt of a holstered weapon. "We need you to come with us to discuss the matter," the taller one said, voice cold and official. "What the hell is this?" I snapped, stepping in front of Naomi. "Step aside, sir," the shorter one growled. "We're not asking." Before I could reply, the taller man reached for Naomi's arm. I shoved him back. "Let go of her." That's when I saw it, the shift in Naomi. Her expression changed, turning razor sharp. Her eyes colder than winter. "Let go," she said, voice calm and deadly. "You've got 3 seconds to comply," the tall one warned, his hand moving toward his gun. Naomi smiled. 3 seconds is more than I need." In a blur, she twisted free of his grip, drove her elbow up into his jaw with a sickening crunch. The other man went for his sidearm, but Naomi was faster. She seized his wrist, twisted, his gun hit the ground. But she wasn't done. She pivoted behind him, arm snaking around his throat. With brutal efficiency, she dropped him like a sack of bricks. Both men now lay on the ground, groaning. I stood frozen. "Naomi, what the hell?" She didn't even look at me. "Stay behind me." She crouched by the taller one, grabbed a fistful of his vest, and yanked him upright until their eyes met. "Who sent you?" she asked, low and calm. The man's face twisted in pain, but his eyes were sharp. He spat blood onto the porch. "You have no idea who you're messing with." Naomi's grip tightened. Her knuckles turned white. "Try me. You're dead," he sneered. "You think you could take on the HOA and walk away?" Naomi leaned in, her voice a whisper. "You're not HOA." The man's jaw clenched. His gaze flicked to the black van parked across the street. I followed his eyes. My stomach sank. This wasn't random. This was planned. Naomi reached into his vest and pulled out a small earpiece. She examined it, then crushed it in her palm. "Tell your boss," she said, "it's over." The man laughed, bitter and dry. "You don't know how deep this goes." Naomi responded with a fist to his face. His head snapped back with a sickening crack. He slumped to the floor, unconscious. "Naomi," I whispered. "What the hell is going on?" She stood up, brushing dirt off her sleeve. "They're not with any HOA." "No kidding," I snapped. "Then who the hell are they?" She looked down the street, calculating. "Contractors." "For who?" She paused. "Classified." My heart pounded. The woman standing in front of me. This wasn't the loving wife who made pancakes on Sundays. This was someone else. Someone lethal. The shorter man stirred. Naomi planted her boot on his chest, pinning him. "You're going to tell me exactly who sent you," she said. The man coughed, smirked. "Go to hell." Naomi's eyes narrowed. "Ladies first." Suddenly, the black van across the street roared to life. Its tinted windows caught the sun like a blade. "They're cleaning up," Naomi muttered. Gunfire erupted from the van. The side of our house exploded, splinters, drywall, insulation. Bullets ripped through the siding. I grabbed Naomi and dove behind the overturned patio table. "They're shooting at us," I shouted. Naomi drew a pistol from the back of her jeans. a sleek black sidearm that didn't belong to any civilian. "I thought you were a lawyer," I yelled. She gave a thin smirk. "Eat." She rolled out from cover, fired 3 quick shots. The van's windshield cracked. The driver swerved, lost control, and slammed into a light pole. Sparks flew as metal screamed against metal. "Stay down," Naomi shouted, already moving. A side door of the van slid open. A man jumped out, rifle ready. Naomi fired. 2 shots. One to the chest, one to the head. Another man scrambled out, weapon raised. Naomi shot him in the knee. He screamed, dropped his gun. She was on him instantly. Her boot crushed his face into the pavement. Blood splattered the sidewalk. The driver crawled from the wreckage, gripping his shoulder. Naomi approached, gun pointed at his head. "Who sent you?" she growled. The man coughed blood. "You think this ends with us?" "Who?" she demanded again. He smiled faintly. "You're already dead." Naomi's gun clicked empty. She didn't flinch. Her fist slammed into his jaw. His head hit the pavement, and he went limp. She stood over him, chest heaving, eyes like frozen steel. I stumbled forward. "Naomi, what the hell was that?" She ejected the empty magazine, reloaded calmly. Cleaning up." Cleaning up? The police arrived 20 minutes later, sirens wailing. By then, Naomi had stripped the attackers of their weapons and zip-tied their wrists. "These guys are military contractors," the lead officer muttered, studying one of their IDs. "Black Ops level. Why would Black Ops pose as an HOA?" I asked. Naomi's expression hardened. "Because they're not here to give fines. They're assassins." The officer turned to her, suspicious. "Who the hell are you?" She handed him a small black card. "Call that number." He did. His eyes widened as he read the emblem. "Tia." Naomi gave a tight smile. "Close enough." As the cops loaded the bodies into the van, Naomi turned to me. "I think it's time we moved." I just stared at her. My whole world shattered. "All this time, who are you?" She smiled softly. "Your wife." I shook my head, laughing in disbelief. "Next time, maybe just tell me." Naomi leaned in and kissed me. "Where's the fun in that?"